What day? Tuesday. Tuesday review. So tomorrow we have NFP. Um, so reducing risk. And then today we have PMI and then job openings at 10 a.m. So not taking anything before 10 a.m. Also, I just want to take a look at 9:45, see how it reacts because it is an orange folder and lately orange folder has been reacting a lot. So just keeping an eye on that, but still wouldn't be taking any trades until 10. Um, so looking at this, start a 4 hour, right? 4 hour, we're kind of just in this range. We could come up to these highs, we come back down here. We definitely came back down there, as you can see. Um, this could be the Tuesday low of the week, and then expect a reversal for Wednesday, Thursday. But yeah, we'll see. Um, yeah, so going into the day, right? I'll go in the 15 minutes starting off. 15-minute on this too. Um, yeah, so we didn't have any manipulation above the highs really. We did have a sweep of the London highs, but I wanted to kind of see either if we swept London lows to go back up here, uh, or just come up here right away and then drop down. But we never got that sweep. Uh, but it was very clear at open that we displaced through this low, these lows, Asia lows and London lows. And so it's clear that we're at least going to these PM lows. And you look on a higher, well, if we just look spread out a little bit more, you can see these are relative equal lows right here that could be swept. And then we have this low right here. So previous week lows right here, previous day lows. So we had our eyes out for that. And let's look at market open, see what we did. Okay. The market opened right here, laying out. Holy fuck. We're dumping. We're dumping. We're dumping. We're dumping. Zero retraces. Get a mini little retrace right here. Dump. Holy God. Oh God. Terrible price action, right? No. It's just a continuation. When you see expansions like this is what I learned from today, is that when you're dropping like hundreds of points right away at the open, you should never really fade that, at least in the AM session. Maybe like 10:50 to 11, you might expect like a change. But like when you see this, you don't want to be fading that unless there's at least 5 minute structure. So if you see 1 minute structure after a huge dump like this, that's not a very high probability trade, as I learned today. So we swept that low. And I believe at the time, yeah, we had an SMT with that low. Still waiting on 10 a.m. news. Yeah, still waiting on 10 a.m. The 10 a.m. came out, right? We have these previous week lows that I expect us to kind of hit because we're right there. Um, so we come up, sweep this high, and so we have data highs, data lows, um, and we get displacement to the downside. So theoretically, you could have entered right here, for like stops. I don't know. Like this isn't my entry, but this is just me tape reading, kind of. Um, probably can put your stops, 30 handles, and then targeted low. It would have gone like straight to it. It's also inside of the macro time, so that would be a good trade. But what I took instead, which ended up being a very small loss, it was like only $200, was this right here. So I saw this sweep. We had an SMT at the time at the lows, and we got displacement above this high, and with the fair value gap of a breaker unicorn model, we tapped into it. I believe I got in at 10:03 because I wanted news to kind of situate itself a little bit. Um, but yeah, I put my stops at this low, and TP would have been like equilibrium with this range. I believe it's like a 4.5 RR trade. I had to keep my stops a little tight just because the volatility was pretty big. So, and I only like to do a 25-point stop. So I had to bring my stop in. But trade idea was wrong in general. The draw on liquidity was just lower. Um, so yeah, so from this, right, after I saw this huge dump, right, and we swept previous day lows, which is right here. Um, Previous day lows is a good liquidity point, but from this dump, you can't you can't expect a reversal off of the 1 minute time frame. You know, if you have more structure and like you're waiting around, sitting at a point where you expect a reverse or something, and then you get 1 minute structure, then maybe. But yeah, honestly, I'm not even mad that I tried it because we did have an SMT, we had clear displacement, we had a very a clean unicorn setup. You know, the only thing bad was that draw was lower, and I should have seen that from the continuation day that it was presenting itself. Yeah, price displace all the way down. Still kept going down, displacing through this low. So you expect another low to be at least hit. Previous week lows is right there. So what do we wait for? We wait for super liquidity displacing to the downside. Now, there was no entry here really. Yeah, no, there's no entry. But if anything, I should have taken a sell position to the downside. That would have been the better move. But yeah, that was hit. Previously lows were hit. Now, when you hit a big when you're dumping, right? Let's look at ES, right? We dumped all of this. We swept previous week lows, and like there's like you already did everything you already moved. Let's see how many points we moved. We just from open all the way to the end of the normal session. We dumped 300 points in the matter of like an hour and a half. And really most of it was just in the first 30 minutes. In the first 30 minutes we dumped 300 points, right? So dumped 300 points, swept previous day lows. Everything else for that morning session is low probability because price action doesn't need to do anything. The morning objective is already hit. So therefore, after that was hit, I was gonna look at the macro. My mentor ended up taking a trade, but I didn't take it because it was just low probability. You know, previous week lows were hit after a huge dump like that. Uh, so I'm just gonna show what ended up setting up. We came really close to this low. There's another previous week low right there. Um, then we got displacement to the upside, right? And the macro time, 10:45 right here, right? Uh, so what do you see, right? Sweep of liquidity, um, market structure shift to the upside, and a fair value gap right here. He entered right there. Like also just keeping in mind there was a unfilled 5 minute fair value gap, which would have been a better entry. And also, if it was going to go up, it would create a 5 minute uni setup instead of just the 1 minute. So if the 5 minute uni setup set up, I would have taken that low risk again. But that little 1 minute move right here, we literally learned right here, this 1 minute, it's not enough structure. We need at least 5 minute structure in order to pinpoint a reversal. Off of this 1 minute, I was at least waiting until I see a reaction out of this 5 minute for value gap and this breaker for value gap right here. I wanted to see pretty strong displacement. I would have entered off of another 2022 model off of that. But this was not enough confirmation for me. He took it, ended up getting stopped out, and yeah, see what we did for this day. Yeah, we came this close to this low. Like we're gonna sweep it. So we ended up sweeping that. Um, so yeah, just a continuation day. It was a little harder to spot this with the daily profile because the daily profile wasn't very clear. If we had some sort of manipulation, like if we had an SMT or something right here instead, like if NQ, I mean ES swept this and NQ didn't, and then I saw displacement to the downside, I could have easily seen a continuation day to at least previous day lows and probably would have kept a runner to previous week lows if we saw something. But it just wasn't very clear that it was going to be a continuation day. But from the displacement, I should have seen that we're going lower. Um, yeah, so going over the key takeaways from today, right? When you see Alpha open, when you see like just a shit ton of displacement to the downside, don't don't take buy positions, unless you sweep a previous week lows and you get higher time frame structure. Which, let's be honest, waiting for that structure to actually happen on a 5 minute time frame, it's probably not going to happen during the morning session. So you really shouldn't be looking for the opposite way of where the continuation is going anyways. Probably should wait maybe for the PM session or something to spot a reversal off of the continuation. But yeah, so we saw a continuation. Um, if you're seeing continuation day, do not go against it. Go with it if anything off a 22 model with that to go to some sort of liquidity. Um, and then also, yeah, morning objective was hit. I already knew this, but just really getting it in my mind. Morning objective was hit. Don't take any trades. It's going to be shitty conditions no matter what. And when you displace through a low, it's going to go lower probably. It's like 90% chance it's going to go lower. So if you see displacement through a low, then you know you can you can look for lower prices. Don't look for higher prices. Like, for example, the trade I took right here, right? We set this low. Actually, let me see just to really get the most accurate representation. I want to see where ES was at. Yeah, yes, it is. ES didn't sweep it yet. So ES still didn't sweep it, right? And we kept just going down. ES still hasn't swept it. So after we went down like this, right, and ES still hasn't swept it, we already saw displacement, and it's not like ES swept it, so now ES can go higher, right? So unless ES swept this liquidity level already, then we can spot a reversal off of that. But ES didn't sweep it, and we just started displacing to that low. Reason why this failed, even though you got a perfect setup of the unicorn model, it's not perfect with the actual correlation between the assets. So got to keep that in mind. Um, Not really a terrible trade, not a terrible day whatsoever. A really small loss of $200. Can make that back pretty easily. By pretty easily, I mean very, very easily. Um, but yeah, that's it for today.